Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Proline. The first week of the National Football League is in the books. A record 5 teams going over the 40-point mark in the first week of the season. That's never happened before. It might be the sign of things to come. Maybe the defenses will tighten up some. We'll see. We're going to look at one of the, actually a couple of the really good games on the schedule this week. The Ravens taking on the Eagles, and we will get into the Cowboys Seahawks matchup as well. Jim Feist is here. Big Al McMordie, Chip Chirimbes. I'm Dave Cokin, and it's nice to have you with us. Before we get into the games and discussion of other things, let's let everybody know what's going on this weekend. Al, triple header Saturday. Great way to make some money this weekend.
That's right, Dave. Triple header Saturday. 3 big college games, including the conference game of the year. And the best of all, it's just $9 for all 3 games. And they're guaranteed to go 3-0, or my big play clubs the rest of September are absolutely free. Plus, as another bonus, if you sign up today, you get a Fortune 500 Club play that goes tonight. I was 2-0 on my Fortune 500 Club selections last week with the Florida Gators and the New York Jets. That's a $500 value tonight as a free bonus. Call 866-841-1665. It's a triple header Saturday, 3 college games, and you're going to go 3-0, plus the Fortune 500 Club selection. Call 866-841-1665.
Sounds good, Al. I had a good weekend last weekend. The big plays were really strong. The college football weekend, Utah State was a top play on Friday. Did well on Saturday. Oregon State coming through. Louisiana Tech. Game of the month was a very easy winner as Arizona State destroyed Illinois. Come right back on Sunday. Missed on the Packers, but won everything else. Patriots were a big play. The Eagles-Browns under, and top play on the Arizona Cardinals. That got a little exciting at the end, huh? So it was a really strong weekend. I lost on Monday. Came back on Tuesday in baseball, so everything's going really well. This is a terrific offer. You're going to get all my Under the Hat plays through Monday for $29. That on its own is a pretty good deal, but you're also going to get a huge high roller window play that's going tonight and my college underdog of the month. And that is a guaranteed winner. It must win outright or you get the rest of the month free. $29 for everything, including the big play, my underdog of the month. Call right away. So you can get that big window play tonight, 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. Chip, business as usual. Huge day on Saturday. Right back with more on Sunday. 8 and 3 combined in the 2 days. You can't beat that, man.
No, we had a great Saturday going 4-1, highlighted by UCLA. Had 4 outright underdog winners. Come back on Sunday, go 4-2, highlighted by our major shocker, the St. Louis Rams. So that made it 8 and 3 for the weekend. We have more of the same in store this week. You're going to get the entire week through Monday for only $10. This is not only going to include my 3 best bets on Saturday, including Alabama and Arkansas, but as well as that, on Sunday, my NFL home team game of the year. All this for only $10 through Monday, and I have a big-time selection on the game between Denver and Atlanta on Monday night. So don't hesitate to get on board, 866-841-1665. We knocked them dead during preseason. We're already off to a great start, 4-1 colleges on Saturday. So get on board. Big-time winners from the big game player, 866-841-1665.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to get selections that a world champion handicapper is playing, well, here's your opportunity to do so for what amounts to pocket change. Phenomenal rest of the month offer, including a conference game of the year from Jim Feist. Jim?
Dave, last week, thank you for that. Last Saturday was a little rough. I came out a little slow in the colleges. But I came back on Sunday. I was 7-4. I was 5-1 in my top plays, including the Texans, and a rare, very rare 100-star play, high roller total with the Colts and Bears over. That one 41-21, covered the spread easy. And then I had the Ravens Bengals over as well on Monday night. The offer is this: the rest of September football for $15, including my first conference game of the year on Saturday and the Sunday dog of the month, all for $15 at 1-866-841-1665. 1655. That's 1-866-841-1655. You know, I was adding up these offers and what it would cost. I think it's $63. And you could get all four of our offers for 63 small grocery dollars. Now, if you want to win, we're all winning. If you want to win, you want to invest $63, you know, that I would step up to the plate and do that.
Sounds good to me. That's not bad. All right, let's get right into it. We got the Eagles and the Ravens. The Eagles were not good at all in opening week. They managed to get a win in spite of themselves, basically. The Ravens, on the other hand, look like they are going to be a very good football team with a resounding Monday night win over the Bengals. Let's get this one started with Big Al.
Well, I'll make this short and sweet. You know, I think Philadelphia is the way to go here. If you go back to 2005, Dave, in regular season games, teams off a win by 23 points or more are now 21-42 against a spread on the road if they're matched up against an opponent also off a straight-up win. So both teams are 1-0. It doesn't matter if it's by 1 point or by, 28 points. I'm going to take the Eagles here minus a small number against Baltimore, Dave.
Yeah, what I'm considering in this game is the over. I know the Ravens have had a great defense for years, but I really think the strength of this football team is the offense. The defense, you can move the ball on them. Andy Dalton and the Bengals actually were in that football game in the third quarter until they inexplicably, I have no idea what Marvin Lewis was thinking, but you can't kick the field goal on the road when you're down a few points on fourth down inside the 2-yard line. It was a horrible decision. Look, I think the Ravens probably would have won the game anyway, and I had the other side, so believe me, it's not a sour grapes thing. But the reality is, I thought the game completely changed at that point. It was like a win for the Ravens. But the thing to remember is that Cincinnati did move the ball all over the field on them for the better part of 2.5 quarters. The Ravens' offense looked like it's going to be a monster. Joe Flacco has moved into the elite category in quarterbacks. That's not a one-game judgment. You could see it coming last year. He's got a tremendous arm. He's also got fantastic touch. I think he can score against Philadelphia. Let's face it, the Eagles would have given up a lot more points on Sunday had they been playing somebody with an offense. The Browns got horrible quarterback play in that football game. I think the Eagles will be better offensively. Vic, it's my guess, and all it is an educated guess. We'll have to wait and see, but this experiment of trying to make Vic a prototypical pocket passer isn't working, and I think they know it. They've got to let him be Mike Vick, which is a guy who creates chaos, gets rolling all over the place, confuses defenses, and makes big plays. That's who he is. He still gets hit sitting in the pocket. He got hit like 19 times in the Browns game, so that to me is the move the Eagles are going to make offensively. I think they can move the ball on Baltimore. Jim, I think this is going to be a high-scoring football game.
Well, Dave, I agree with you. Everything points to that. I'm not a big Michael Vick fan as far as, his ability to win the big one. I don't see him as a championship quarterback. I find him to be a very entertaining athlete. He's too small for the game. He's older now. He's been in the league, I'm not sure, but nine years or so. And he's not the same kid that came out of college. He's got a lot of injuries to a lot of body parts. He's not going to be able to – I don't believe he makes it through the season. He's already wearing a special kind of a vest to protect himself. Well, he can't protect every part. And unless he can – you just can't run the ball like you used to. This isn't the old days where you can get away with these linebackers, these linemen, the defensive backs. They're all too big, too strong. Body fat is like less than 5% on all of them. When they hit you, they hurt you. And he's just not built to do that anymore. The game has changed over the period of time he's been in the game. I am not a small quarterback fan in this league, especially one that runs all over the place. Now, Flacco, you said he's come into his own. I think the problem with a lot of these quarterbacks is the offensive coordinator and the game plan. You take these players and you put them with the right coaches and the right schemes, they become who they are. He's been held back. The only guy that ever stopped Michael Jordan, the basketball player, was Dean Smith. Okay? And so you let this guy go, he becomes the greatest player in the world. The same thing happens with all these people. Alex Smith, first 7 years, he had different offensive coordinators. Now they have a new scheme up there in Baltimore. This guy's a world beater. He's big. He's 6'5", 6'6", big kid, big arm. You're going to see a whole different team here with the Ravens. I don't think the Eagles are the premier team that everybody thinks they are. I do agree with Al. It's a great spot for the Eagles. Coming off the big win on, Monday night with the Ravens, coming on the road against a team that struggled. I just don't think the Eagles are that good.
Chip, we'll hear from you in the next game when we look at the Cowboys and Seahawks. Before we get to our question of the week, let's go to our man in the street. That's from Las Vegas Sports Services, Jeff Saad. Jeff, he has a September football special going, and let's find out about it. What's going on, Jeff?
Thanks, Dave. Coming up a free total in the matchup between the Jets and the Steelers. First, you can get a pair of winners, a college game of the month and an NFL game of the month going this weekend. 2 plays for just $10. It's guaranteed. You go 2-0 or get a week free in college football and the NFL. Just call 1-866-575-8916. Your free total, the Jets at Steelers, can they make a total low enough? The Jets' defense was great in preseason and has plenty of depth and talent, but this offense was atrocious as Mark Sanchez and Tim Tebow learned the playbook of new offensive coordinator Tony Sparano. Sparano's offenses were dull and unproductive in Miami, so Rex Ryan said, "You're the guy I want in the Big Apple." Steelers coach Mike Tomlin is content to get a lead and sit on it. He's not a run-it-up coach. New offensive coordinator Bruce Arians wants to keep Big Ben in the pocket, likes balance on offense. Combine that with a dominant Pittsburgh defense, I see few yards or points. Take the Jets and Steelers game to stay under the total. Once again, get a college game of the month and an NFL game of the month going this weekend. 2 plays for just $10. Guaranteed to go 2-0 or get 1 week free in college football and the NFL. Call 1-866-575-8916. Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks. Take advantage of that, Jeff. With Jeff, and make some money. He continues to do exceptionally well. Jeff is a rock-solid handicapper. Our Twitter question of the week. Follow us at Twitter, at Jim Feist Sports, or Facebook, at Proline TV. You'll be able to see the videos just by clicking there. If we use your question on the show, you're put in a drawing to win $100 worth of plays from the handicapper of your choice. This is from Frank Dwyer of Detroit. Let me read it directly. The average bettor thinks that line movement means someone's in the know about a game and the general public is following. Are there other causes and meanings behind line movement to be aware of? Well, let me start on this. Hey, you don't always know where the money's going because of line movement, okay? That's not necessarily the case. You can have games, and there are actually ways to track this now. You can have games where 70%, as an example, of the tickets are being written on one side, and the money's moving the other way, the line's moving the other way. So that may mean the pros are playing something. There are other games the line doesn't move at all, despite the fact that there may be a vast majority of tickets on one side or the other. Sometimes the money moves with the majority of the players. So it's something where you got to use all the tools at your disposal, but I'm not really sure that the someone in the know adage holds anymore to any great extent, because the one thing we've found out in the past few years is that the public, they may not know as much as the pros, but the gap has closed, let's put it that way. And I think there are more people winning at this than there ever have been before. It's not a majority or anything like that, don't get me wrong. The books are still in really good shape. But it's a lot more conceivable for a sharp player who recognizes how to read the line and do sharp handicapping as well to come out on top long term. It's more beatable than it used to be, Jim.
Well, I don't know that I could add much to that, Dave. That was a great explanation. I will put this in. There are some big players around the country, around the world, I guess, that make awfully big bets, and you sometimes see them bring in false leads.
Yes.
For example, they bet a lot of money both ways on a game, but early they'll bet against themselves in order to create some movement so they can get the best of it. Let's say a team is 4 and they want to play the dog. Ironic as this is, if the market is weak, especially if it's early, they'll bet the 4, the 4.5, the 5, and drive it up to 6. They might invest a couple $100,000 doing that. Well, then when the market opens and all the bookmakers around the world open the game at the 6 because it's been driven to that point, they'll come back with monster money in the millions taking the 6. So they have all the live numbers going for them. They got the push at 6. They got the 4, the 4.5, the 3, 3.5, all those numbers going for them. And everybody thought that they were going to be on the favorite, and they were the followers that this gentleman is talking about, but they got stuck. It's called whiplash, and they got it. So you have to be aware of that as well. We do monitor that, and we're on top of it. We will follow movements when we feel that there's smart money out there, and they know something we don't know. Well, they have a very solid opinion, but you have to be careful of the whiplash.
Let's move to it.
Yeah, I'll just chime in. Oh, thanks, Dave. And I've charted line movement for upwards of 30 years, and I've charted openers and closers, and I can say with certainty, you're not going to make money by just blindly following the money from the open to the close and going with it. You're going to get buried. And the key to this game really is getting the best number possible. Last week, for example, on Saturday, I had about 11 plays, and 10 of the 11, when I released it to my clients, I got a favorable number than it was at the close. That's the key to this game, is following the market, understanding how the market's moving, and making sure you get the best number possible.
Yeah, I'll give one piece of advice to anybody, and this is good advice. There's nothing wrong with betting with your regular bookie, but you got to have more outs than that. Otherwise, you aren't going to get the best number on a frequent basis, and the chances of your winning are reduced exponentially. Let's talk some football. Cowboys and Seahawks. Chip, the Seattle Seahawks, tough loss for them. Looked like they had taken over that game against the Cardinals. They gave up a touchdown to Kevin Cobb, who comes off the bench when Skelton gets hurt, and they get down in position to then win the game and can't punch it in. I'm glad they didn't, because it wouldn't have made me very happy. But still not a bad effort by Seattle in the opening week. The Dallas Cowboys have had extra time to prep for this, and they're off a very satisfying opening win against the rival New York Giants. Good way for the Cowboys to start the season.
Yeah, Cowboys, I'm sure we're pointing toward that game, the way the Giants handled them last year and closed the season by pounding them, really. I think this is a tough spot for Dallas. Seattle had a great preseason. They came out flat against Arizona, really didn't get much going until late. Dave, I was with you. I had the Cardinals in that contest and was really pleased the way it ended up, in spite of the referees giving the Seahawks a fourth timeout with under 2 minutes to go in the game. I mean, what can you do? But, there's a couple different numbers on this game. The trend, 254 total yards is what Seattle had last week with Russell Wilson leading the offense. And I think defensively, these two teams are going to mesh up and really come together. I'm looking for this game to be a low-scoring game, but there are a couple of trends that I wanted to point out. Is that Dallas is 1-4 against the number at Seattle, and Cowboys are 1-6 against a team with a losing record, and yet Seattle is 6-15 against the points against a team with a winning record. So it's tough to take a side. I lean towards Seattle in this one, but I think if I was to play right now, I'd play the under.
Well, one thing, Jim. Look, maybe this year will be different. We've seen this out of the Cowboys before, where they make a statement and they look like they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. And then what happens the next week? They go out there and just lay a rotten egg. I mean, the lack of consistency has been kind of a hallmark of this team over the past few years.
It certainly has. A lot of their problems last year, if we stay within the current period of time, was their defense. They couldn't hold leads, and they lost quite a few games at the end in the fourth quarter, in the last few minutes. They just couldn't hold on to the lead. It looks like they have shored up their defense quite a bit. This is going to go a little bit towards what Chipper said about how this game could play out. The weather in Seattle is always an issue. Even if you look at it now and it says it's not bad, that can change in 5 minutes. And it's mostly rainy up there. That is one of the toughest stadiums in football to play in. It's very noisy. Nobody really likes going there. You have a rookie quarterback that was marginal last week, looked real good in the preseason, but he was marginal. I don't think he was terrible. He certainly wasn't Wheaton out of Cleveland. He was much better than that, but he also wasn't RG3 either. Romo is one of my favorite quarterbacks. I happen to like Tony Romo quite a bit. I think he's been on a team that's let him down more so than he's let them down. He's made his mistakes. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not Brady. He's not Manning. But this is a tough spot for Dallas, even though they've had the 10 days off. Going in there and laying points, I'm not going to do it. I'm not 100% comfortable with the quarterback on Seattle because he doesn't have a lot of experience. It's going to take time for these rookies to catch up. But I do agree with Chipper. I think this is a defensive battle. I think the game is going under the total.
That makes sense. You know, Al, Russell Wilson's already an upgrade over Tavares Jackson. I don't think there's any question about that. But it's his second regular season game. They're not going to throw the playbook wide open. It would stand to reason they'll keep things fairly conservative and maybe a little simplified.
Yeah, you know what I find interesting, you mentioned it at the start, then Jim just mentioned it, the extra days off that Dallas has. I think the knee-jerk reaction is to think that these teams are going to have an advantage because of the extra days off. But, the NFL is always, well, lately and even before the last 8 or 9 years, they've used these games to kick off the season, usually on Thursday. This year it was Wednesday because of the presidential convention. Years ago they did some Saturday games. But these teams that have a few days in hand over the teams that play on Sunday. In week 2, they've actually underperformed. And they're 3-14 against the spread when priced from -7 to +2.5 points in week 2. The teams off a win in that early game have done really bad in this price range. They're 0-8 against the spread. Chip mentioned some of Dallas's trends. I'll throw another one in here. The Cowboys have covered just 17 of their last 61 road games off a straight-up win. They've defined inconsistency in the NFL. I can't back this team here off that huge statement win against the Giants. I've got to look at Seattle plus the points.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up with our best bets. Also, reminders of what we've got going on this weekend. Al, let's begin with you.
Well, my best bet is easily the Seattle Seahawks. It's just a classic letdown spot for the Dallas Cowboys. You just beat your division rival, the Super Bowl champions, on the marquee game on that Wednesday, and now you've got to go into Seattle, one of the toughest places to play. I like Seattle as the home dog. And now, guys, I've got a triple header Saturday. 3 big college games, including a conference game of the year. All 3 games, $9. And they're guaranteed to go 3-0. You get my big play club the rest of September. Absolutely free. And as an added bonus, when you sign up today, you're going to get my Fortune 500 Club play tonight. Last week, 2-0 on Fortune 500 Club plays on the weekend with the Florida Gators on Saturday, the New York Jets on Sunday. This is a $500 value by itself. Right here, it's free. If you sign up today, call 866-841-1665. 4 plays in all, 3 big college games, including a conference game of the year, plus a Fortune 500 Club play. 866-841-1665, just $9.
I'm coming off a really good weekend. I've got a good beat on everything to start the season. Very happy with that. Big game going this weekend is my college dog of the month. Last weekend it was my college game of the month. Arizona State clobbers Illinois. And the other big games got there as well. This is the college dog of the month. It's an underdog that must win the game outright, or you get the rest of September's action free. Plus, a reason to call right now and get this game. You'll get all my under the hat plays through Monday night for $29. The first 100 callers will also get a high roller window play that goes tonight. And the dog of the month is included. It's all for just $29. 1-866-896-1629. It's 1-866-896-1629. Should mention, by the way, that individual game just by itself will go for $99 online on Saturday, so you save a bunch of money. Best bet, let me go off the board here as from what we were talking about. Look at the local game at Sam Boyd Stadium. Mike Leach brings Washington State in to face the Rebels. The Leach offense, in time, will probably figure things out, but right now he doesn't have a quarterback to run his offense, and they have not been impressive. UNLV's offense, not real good. The defense for UNLV actually has played quite well. They are off a bad loss against Northern Arizona, a game they gave up 17 straight points after being up 14-0. But the defense, again, played really well. I think you've got, because of Leach and his presence, you've got a high total, higher than it should be based on what I've seen out of the Rebels in 2 games. So let me give you a total on the under between Minnesota and UNLV on Saturday night. Hopefully that one will get there for you. Chip, monster weekend, 4-1 Saturday, 4-1 in the NFL on Sunday. And now you've got a game of the year going this weekend.
Yeah, we do, Dave. That goes off on Sunday. That's going to be my NFL home team game of the year, a game I expect to win outright and cover easily. Dave, coming off a 4-2 Saturday with UCLA on top, 4-1 Saturday, a 4-2 Sunday where we had the Rams posted as our major shocker. So we're right in gear right now. We hit 4 out of 5 underdogs that won the game outright. I expect more of the same. I'm going to offer everyone the entire week for $10 through Monday. This includes the Thursday night game with the Bears and the Packers, as well as 3 college games, best bets on Saturday, including Alabama and Arkansas, and, of course, Sunday's home underdog. This game is a big-time winner for you. I love it out there. It's only $10, and Monday night, probably one of my strongest Monday night games of the year right now between Denver and Atlanta. Just give me a call at 866-841-1665. Get it all for $10. It's a great offer. We're running really hot. We've had a great run in the NFL preseason to open the regular season 4-1, so we're rearing to go. And we did have Dallas over the Giants on Wednesday night as well. Now, for my best bet, I'm going to have to look at this Raven game against the Eagles. You know, the Ravens look like a different club. Their dynamics have changed. They're running to a quick, up-tempo offense. Flacco is in his 5th year. He's finally matured into the quarterback that he had always said he was going to be. And I'm looking for, I see a little bit of kinks in the armor. Dave, you had said how Cincinnati moved the ball really well against the Ravens on Monday night, and I agree. I had the wrong side in that one, and we could thank Marvin Lewis for a failure to have the balls to go for a touchdown when he's down 7 in the 3rd quarter from the 1-yard line. Regardless, I'm going to play this game over the total, Eagles and Ravens. That's the best bet for the Proline show this week.
Jim, 2 huge plays this weekend, part of an extremely low-priced package, and we're talking big games. Your first conference game of the year, plus an upset special that you're going to use as your dog of the month in the NFL.
Absolutely, Dave. Coming off a monster week, thanks to what I did in the pros last week, $15 gets you the rest of September, my first conference game of the year as well, and my underdog of the month for September in the pros. 1-866-841-1655. It's all for $15. I've been red hot in the pros. Preseason was good. Last week was good. We're going to do it again. This week we're coming back with a great conference game of the year. Make the call, 1-866-841-1655. I'll make this real quick. I'm going to go with the under in that Dallas-Seattle game. I'm looking for a defensive battle.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Proline. We do this every week. We also have an NFL recap show we get to on Tuesday mornings, basically, right after the week's complete. So an extra Proline to watch each week. Jim and myself will be on there. Fairway Jay's going to be joining us from time to time. We got a lot of good people involved in that. So we hope you'll join us for that. And next week's edition of Proline as well. The goal this weekend, win a bunch of money. It's way better than the alternative. For Al, for Jim, and for Chip, I'm Dave. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.